This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
No.
This is
stop.
a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. Happy Tuesday, everybody. And then there were three.
Yes. But we've been rolling for so long, we're just kind of really like one. One weird amalgamation of one host. Yes.
I'm
we're
part
the
of it.
Voltron. Yes, you are part of it.
Yay.
The small part.
By default.
I'm the only other
Everyone else
person
is
here.
sick.
Everyone is gone. I'm the only one left.
Well, thanks for showing up to work, Tori.
Anytime, buddy.
All right, guys, let's get to it. Barbra Streisand, Tori's favorite. That's why you're here.
Like an angel.
Said early in her career, she faced scrutiny over her look. So Barbra's memoir, My Name is Barbra, it came out today and features a young Barbra in profile from her funny girl days. I'm looking good.
Yeah.
In the book, she said she was told to get a nose job and cap her teeth in order to be successful in showbiz. Barbra said she always liked the small bump on her nose and didn't want surgery, get this, because it might affect her voice. What's making her money, but wrote she still hurts from all the criticism and insults over her appearance. Barbra also revealed to Gayle King the bold way she got James Brolin's attention at a dinner party. Take a look.
I walked by him, touched his hair, and said, "Who up your hair?" Because that was the truth.
Yes.
And I didn't, what else was I going to say? Hello, my name is Barbra. I mean, what?
Jim, some people could have been turned off by that kind of directness. You were not. That was attractive to you, right?
Very.
Yeah.
And I had been literally, it's a wild word, but I had been celibate for 3 years saying, who needs this?
You're not supposed to tell
For
them.
3 years?
No, I had not had any interest
for
in
3
getting involved in a lousy situation.
He was married twice before.
Yeah.
I was only married once.
After 3
so-
years, that must have been a hell of a night then.
After-
Wild.
What do you
He said wild, and she was about to say, what are you talking about? So I don't know how wild of a night it was. But, good on them. I think it's a good thing that she kept who she was. You know, as I look at all the people that are instantly recognizable, Donald Trump, his hair, Don King, his hair, Carrot Top, his hair, Danny Trejo, his face, Michael Strahan, his teeth.
That's enough.
You have to you have to have something.
10 minutes later, Madonna, her hair, her teeth.
But honestly, it's like a weird thing where that's the thing that really distinguishes you. Macy Gray, her voice. You got to have something that there's a bunch of people. How do you separate yourself? And it's weird because, Jeff, you talk about it all the time. It seems like your agency wants you to fit in where success really comes from standing out.
Right. So, even so if people don't know a little inside baseball, I went to LA when I was like 22. And to get an agent, you have to fit their criteria, whatever that was. This is a long time ago, right? This is more than 20 years ago. They told me I was in shape, lose 20 pounds. They were like, use this dye to make your eyes bluer. I'm like, what is in there? It sounds like there's bleach in there. I don't want to do that. Cut your hair different. We already have 10 guys that look like you. Grow your hair out. Whatever it might be, there's always that criticism, or at least there always was. What stands out in LA or anywhere else is talent, and Barbra had talent.
Thank you very much. May I add another part of this?
He complimented Barbra, not you. He said, thank you, Jeff.
Any compliment to Barbra is a compliment to me and my people.
Shout out, Babs.
Thank you. Let me say something about also this young, real young, Jewish woman with this large nose. You're gonna get comparisons to the schnoz, and she did. SNL. Anytime anybody imitated Barbra, she had a big nose and was like, it's like Bada, right? You become a caricature. It takes a lot of guts to say, I'm not changing that. It takes so much courage. People like Madonna, that kind of strength of character say, I don't care if this is some kind of trope from a religious thing or if you just think aesthetically, this is who I am, I have the talent, and I'm not shifting that. That's a lot of guts, and she has a lot of guts, and I'm very happy to be her fan.
All right.
I just like that she's like, all the criticism still hurts me to this day. And then how she met her husband is like, who blanked up your hair?
Yeah, that's true.
Little like, what?
You know what
Pot
I thought,
calling
Jeff?
the kettle black.
Isn't that negging? That term negging, where you're supposed to say something mean to an attractive person to get them to pay attention? Remember that stupid MTV show, The Game, or something?
Yeah.
And
Where those guys dressed up like
magicians? Yes, and you go up to a 10 at the club and
Like
you go,
me, okay.
Why would you? Well, you go. Why would you wear that scarf? You look ridiculous. And then because
no one's ever spoken to me like
You
that.
have to insult them in some
Right.
sort of way.
Oh,
It was
because
like
it's a
whole
turn
show.
on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
And then
Do
that
you want
guy-
me to try it with you?
Try it.
Tori?
Go ahead.
Hey, don't worry, I'm sure
It's every day.
It'll come up later in the show, but it's a compliment.
Thank you.
All right, Julia Louis-Dreyfus had some fun at the Wall Street Journal Magazine Innovator Award. Sounds like a hoot. While picking up an award, she admitted she used ChatGPT to write her speech, but it mixed up innovator with investor. Let's watch.
Reflecting on this milestone, I am reminded of the unwavering support of my family and the unyielding dedication of my team that has been the driving force behind my investment strategies and my performances in Erin Brockovich, Pretty Women, and Mystic Pizza. Thank you.
So if you guys didn't get that, ChatGPT thought she was Julia Roberts,
Yeah.
which was real funny. I also am back on Veep now. I was watching them before I go to bed. So when I just saw her right there, I'm like, I just saw you last night, Selena Meyer.
Yeah.
You always talk about Veep.
You don't want to come down here with Veep. Veep is near and dear.
Dude,
my
so
Veep
funny.
is your curb.
Yes.
So
He
I go to
listens
sleep
to it every night with it.
I just
Veep.
watched it last night. So good.
It's honestly, in terms of the humor for people our age, I think younger people would be like, I don't like that. But our age kind of humor, it really is like right before everything got very sensitive, and her character
It's so rude and so funny. And so
I was thinking about this, Tori, and you watch the show too. Her character is a narcissist that has low self-esteem, and it's constantly that it's just like this place of humor I've never seen before.
which is what politicians are, right? Low self-esteem, but they need the ego.
Right.
It is the satire that works. The writing is perfection on Veep.
And going back to talent, she's a talent. Like the way she delivered that, what she did with the speech.
Even thinking
very
of it that
funny,
way.
very innovative.
Yeah, really
At
funny.
the Innovative Awards.
Yes. I got one of those last year.
Did you?
Tori.
Okay.
What was it for? Describing people that look unique?
Yes.
You are good at that. He said my hair looks like I got in a fight with a bear.
Does it a little bit?
I was going to say maybe something else.
And then he says I look like I'm someone who fires people at SeaWorld.
Behind the scenes at DBL. Al's got a million of them. All right, coming up on DBL, Gwyneth Paltrow reveals the A-list actor who might be able to bring her back to acting. And we talk with John Ritter's widow, Amy Yazbek, about carrying on his legacy.
Can I be weird and dark here for a second?
Every day.
Okay, he leaves, that's fine. On Reddit, there's a thing. Do you guys know what Reddit is? Just different organizations of like different categories. And one of them is last images. And I'm always just sort of interested in seeing people's last images on photographs. And at SeaWorld, I think it was SeaWorld, there's that, first of all, I don't like seeing any type of whale, but there's that woman, diver, that is like pressing up against, which I don't even like seeing, her orca. And they're about to do a performance, and the orca like drags her down. Do you remember that?
Yes. There was that is very dark.
I know.
I thought there was going to be like some other, you were just like, and I'm going to leave it right there.
But it's sort of fascinating to see.
I think Rob is playing like a pump-up video from off screen.
It's none of this is going well.
Happening over there. I will say this, we cannot lie and say that there's not a morbid curiosity with death.
So
True
bad.
crime is its
mystery
own
of it.
corner of entertainment, like sports and music.
Totally
like
agree.
it's that.
It's a genre.
Big, and we think it's this new thing because we think everything we do is new. But my grandmother was watching City Confidential in the late '80s.
That's right.
Shout out Paul Winfield. He'd be like, it was a quiet day in West Palm Beach.
Always. It was a chilly day in Tuesday. How about the Bible? The original true crime. Esau, Abraham, all these who did what? Delilah, Jezebel, the true crime. I mean, it really goes back to the beginning. Moses.
We're fascinated with rich people that commit violent crimes.
Right.
And it's just, it's a lot of like, why would they do that when they had everything? I think you can understand when
Yeah,
somebody
for sure.
that's poor robs somebody.
Yeah, right.
My
For
friend used to
necessity.
run
Why
it,
would a
work that
dentist
door,
kill
though.
his wife?
Right.
They have two
With
rules.
antifreeze.
Yeah.
I've been watching when Jeff watches
That's how I know
Interrogation
it.
Raw,
Yeah,
and the
I've
guy
been there a
talks about like,
couple
has it been a
times.
while? And he's like, I just do
One
drops
time I
at a
was there
time.
with
Like
this
the need
the
to
guy,
like
he was on Dancing
keep
with the
someone
Stars,
sick,
but remember that
too.
guy was
Right.
like fucking Prince, but he came to America to be on Dancing with the Stars. Welcome back. Some of Hollywood's biggest stars came out to the very well-known CFDA Fashion Awards in New York. And if you don't know, they're considered the Oscars of the fashion world, okay?
Of course I knew.
Of course, everybody knows that.
God.
Anne Hathaway hosted the event in this
Ugh.
very Oscar denim Ralph Lauren.
What a weird
I
outfit.
like that.
skirt.
I think it's terrible.
Looks very Canadian tuxedo vibes.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Others compared it to Britney's iconic denim dress from 2001, which I think is going to be making a comeback.
I
'cause
do
this is
too.
everywhere.
I don't like it.
Everywhere. Serena Williams picked up the Fashion Icon Award. How does she drive with those sleeves?
Unbelievable.
Molly
She's not
Ringwald
driving.
made a statement in red.
Oh, beautiful.
love
That's very classic Molly.
Totally.
It's so Molly.
It's so Molly.
Demi
what a
Moore
Ringwald.
looked amazing in silver, which she does.
Dang.
Good for you. Quinta Brunson from Abbott Elementary wore this simple white dress.
Stunning.
And you gotta have a fringe.
Yeah, and her red lip is everything. She dresses very well for the red carpet.
I'm going back to the fringe.
Okay.
All right, Mary J. Blige looks stunning in this custom body hugging dress.
I like it.
Yeah, I do too. Kind of got the Beyonce, remember the hands coming out?
Get
little
pumped
bit.
because Mary's back.
Woo!
All right, Martha Stewart said her look was timeless elegance.
She's cute.
Wait, is that all she get? Jeff, what's
What
that
is that
face?
all she get?
I don't know if I don't like the jacket. I would have
I'm not
rather.
I agree with you.
I would have rather
Too
seen
big.
the no jacket.
I agree with you. A little, her shape is missing.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
All right, we're not down with that.
No.
And Gwyneth Paltrow also wore black and picked up the Innovation Award for her work with Goop, Tori.
Yes.
She also told E.T. there is one person who could bring her back into acting. Let's watch.
Well, it would be very hard for me to do any acting right at the moment just because of my job, but I guess Robert Downey could always probably get me back, you know, to some degree.
RDJ, I mean, all of our knees go weak with RDJ for sure.
Well, she was Pepper to his Iron Man.
Yes.
And they
Iron
were
Man.
fantastic
They
together.
were, they were.
really were. And good. I mean, I've never said one thing bad about her acting. I actually miss Gwyneth Paltrow in her acting. Shakespeare in Love, she was phenomenal, beautiful, Oscar worthy, and she won. And she looks great there. I just don't love Goop.
Well, I mean, but if you think about living your life in chapters, maybe like she did the Goop thing and she was wildly successful in that. I think she probably was a person that was going for some self-help, felt like it was helpful, wanted to share it with others, and then realized there was this huge market that wasn't being catered to. But she's catered to that market now, and now I think she's kind of throwing that out there like, I'd come back. You know, I think there's always going to be that love there. Like, why not?
Well, recently she said once she's done with this Goop, this last part, she wants to disappear and never be in public life again.
I could see that as well. Jeff, could you see getting to that point?
No, I don't think she will. I could definitely see it.
You
give me the lotto tomorrow, I gone.
How much money will it take for you to go?
Just enough that I don't have to think about it anymore.
Gotcha.
Couple mils.
Just a couple mils and you're out.
100 mil and I'm out.
100 mil now?
100
That's more than a couple.
Yeah, that's a couple to 100.
I thought you were going to talk like
You asked me,
7.
you gave me a number.
Okay.
Your parents have sitting on some cash.
No, not that much. I'm trying to think how much. Okay.
Tori's going to do a wire transfer
Yeah.
immediately.
You know, when we were being nice when we were talking about the outfits because everyone looked great, but is there ever going to be a day where we come back and like a guy like Al could just be like, you look like, you know, and he gives these funny analogies of how you look every day and have that like on a television show or something and make fun of people again and have a laugh at it?
I think.
Like Fashion Police?
Yeah,
kind of?
yes, with Joan Rivers.
Joan Rivers,
But
she was
canceled.
excellent. Right.
Like, is that kind of fun? Antiquated?
Everything has an ebb and flow, and that kind of show will come back, and it'll be considered avant-garde, and people will watch it, and then everybody will be doing that.
The
and then
pendulum
people will say
swings.
it's too mean, and it'll come back. So it's our public conscience being put in front of us on television, and us kind of yelling at ourselves.
Yeah, I don't know. I miss that.
You missed the pendulum. It's coming back. It's swinging.
I don't know. I'm out of here.
It's swinging.
Give me 100 mil. We'll be right back.
Penicillin is a common drug that's used a lot in medicine today. The drug was discovered in 1928 and it is still used to fight infections caused by bacteria, like ear infections, skin infections, urinary tract infections, and more. But a significant percentage of patients report that they're allergic to penicillin. But is it a common allergy? To get the facts, we went to Dr. Carla Robinson, family physician, Dr. Ruchi Shaw, allergist with the Cleveland Clinic, the CDC, and Yale Medicine. According to Yale Medicine, within an hour of taking penicillin, allergic reactions can occur like rash or hives, tightness in the throat, or difficulty breathing. And there are tests you can take to see if you are actually allergic to this antibiotic. When researchers further evaluated patients who reported a penicillin allergy, they found fewer than 1% of the population are actually allergic to penicillin.
In some cases, when you prescribe an antibiotic for a viral infection that actually does not require an antibiotic, sometimes you can get a rash from that.
What we know from our guidelines and our allergy literature is that greater than 90 to 95% of these patients that have a listed allergy, when they come in for evaluation, we find that they can actually tolerate penicillin.
Also, according to the CDC, 80% of patients with a penicillin allergy lose their sensitivity to the drug after 10 years. That's why Dr. Shaw says it's always good to test.
Penicillin is probably one of the most common antibiotics that's used, and it's first-line treatment for a lot of different types of infections.
Though both doctors say it's rare, it's always good to be on the lookout for any side effects of the medications you are taking and contact your doctor right away if you suspect an adverse reaction. With your Verify Fact Check, I'm Megan Bragg.
Welcome back to DBL. He was one of the greatest physical comedians of his era. I wanted to jump over a couch, but I didn't. We lost him too soon. John Ritter passed away in 2003 from an undetected flaw in his aorta. His widow has spent the last 20 years keeping his memory alive and raising awareness. Earlier, we spoke with Amy Yazbek. Take a look.
Please welcome to the show, Amy Yazbek.
I want to talk about the personal side. When did you know you were in love with John?
Kind of right away, but it just kept getting more and more and more undeniable. You know that feeling?
Yeah.
Where you're just like, haha, that's funny. We have that in common. Oh, that's cute. Haha. And then it was just like, here's a soulmate. And I had him for a long time. We were together for 14 years. And we'd only been married for 4 when he passed away. So,
I do understand, and I thank you for telling us about that. When you two were dating, did John have any signature moves that worked or didn't work on you?
In bed?
Sure.
Well, Amy, what do you want to share with us today?
You've seen the man fall over a couch and smash a pie in his face? It was like that, but slower and with rhythm.
Yeah.
Get back on the subject.
That was a great description that I'll always think of John now when I rewatch Three's Company. I love that. So let's get into some other stuff. We recently had Henry Winkler on our show, and he said it was a dream come true to play on the Hollywood softball team with John. Was John a competitive person?
John was a baseball fanatic, and he had been a pitcher as a kid, and he was a kid in LA. He was like 10 years old when the Brooklyn Dodgers became the LA Dodgers, and his parents used to host parties for them at his house. So he was competitive, but he had fun. But he always brought his mitt to the game just in case he'd need to call to duty.
You know, we're not only trying to educate the people that might suffer from this, but also the people that live with them and love them. So I'm going to ask you, did you notice any early signs that something was wrong?
Listen, here's the thing. There's no signs, because the thing that usually is the kind of precursor to this dissection is an aneurysm, which, let's say, so your aorta is like the kind of diameter of like a garden hose. So when there's trouble, sometimes a genetic problem or something that makes it unstable, it's made up of 3 layers, but it can have like a bubble in it, like an aneurysm is what it's called. And it can get that little tear. There's a little tear on the inside of it, and then the blood goes into that tear instead of going to your brain and your body and your arms and your legs where it's supposed to go, right? So, but before that feeling of the tear, which is that ripping chest pain, and it could be a lot of different symptoms, the aneurysm that might be growing for years, which John's probably did, has no symptoms. So, and because this thing can be genetic and sneaks up on people like that, you might not know whether even you had it in your family, because somebody might, like John and his brother Tom's dad was Tex Ritter, the singing cowboy. America's most beloved cowboy was his nickname, whatever. And he had a chest pain bad while he was bailing one of his band members out of jail in Nashville. And he died on the spot. And they always thought it was a heart attack because they didn't know. Now we know that's pretty much for sure what happened to him, because John's brother Tom had an aneurysm, like I was describing before, in the exact same place that John's was 4 years after John's died. We caught it. He's fixed. He's good. He's fixed. He would like that. His aorta is fixed. But because they knew what to expect. So you guys, if you would do me the great favor of going to johnritterfoundation.org and just really learning about that stuff, you can't, it all makes sense the way we have it laid out, but you just kind of have to know it. You will save lives. It's incredible.
Amy, I love your advocacy. I love what you're doing all these years later. You make it fun to listen to as well. You throw some humor in there, so we really appreciate you. DBL Nation, you can learn more about the John Ritter Foundation for Aortic Health at johnritterfoundation.org. Again, Amy, thank you so much for everything you're doing.
Honestly, thank you. One of the best interviews we've ever had. What a great interview. Thank you.
How kind of you. Thank you.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is running for president as a third-party candidate. His father was a Democratic candidate for president in 1968 and was assassinated during his campaign. And now RFK Jr. says he's facing security threats of his own, including a recent intruder at his home. He wants a Secret Service detail assigned to him and is accusing the Biden administration of breaking decades of precedent by not providing one. Several Verify viewers asked us about that precedent, so let's verify. Do all presidential candidates receive Secret Service protection? Our sources, the Secret Service, the U.S. Code, historical news reports, and polling data. U.S. Code states that the Secret Service should protect, quote, major presidential and vice presidential candidates. Who counts as a major candidate? That's up to the Secretary of Homeland Security, who's supposed to consult with a bipartisan group of 5 members of Congress. In 2017, the Secret Service published some of the factors the Secretary considers in this assessment. For one, they aren't supposed to grant protection more than a year before the general election, unless there are extraordinary circumstances. RFK Jr.'s campaign says there have been exceptions before, but news reports from the last 20 years of elections show the only time someone's been given protection this early was Barack Obama in the spring of 2007. He was in second place at the time for the Democratic nomination, and many people were concerned he was uniquely at risk as the man trying to become America's first black president. A second factor considered: polling. Secret Service guidelines say for a third-party candidate to be considered major, they should poll at 20% or higher for 30 straight days. According to Real Clear Politics, RFK Jr. has been polling at roughly 15% against Trump and Biden, short of the mark. But none of these are hard and fast rules, and exceptions can be made for things like explicit threats. RFK Jr. says such an exception should be made given the intruder. Homeland Security has not responded to our questions. Other high-profile candidates like Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley also don't have details at this time. We can verify, no, not all presidential candidates receive Secret Service protection. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
Viral videos shared on multiple social media platforms accuse Hamas of faking Palestinian casualties. The videos appear to show people moving around underneath white sheets with captions that imply the bodies were staged for the news. But is that really what the videos show? Let's verify. Our sources are the original video posted on YouTube, InVid, and Revi. We did a reverse image search to find the original video on YouTube. It was first published on October 28, 2013, a decade ago. You can tell they're the same video by focusing on the details, like this person's shoes. The original video was posted by an Egyptian newspaper with a caption that explains, when translated, that it shows a group of students protesting at a Cairo university. Reuters and the BBC reported there were weeks of protests at Al-Azhar University in October 2013 after Egyptian President Mohamed Morsi was ousted in a military coup. So, no, this video does not show Hamas faking Palestinian deaths in Gaza during the current Israel-Hamas war. It was recorded nearly 10 years earlier in Egypt. The same video was also used to spread misinformation in 2018 amid border protests in Gaza after the U.S. moved its embassy in Israel to Jerusalem. Whether or verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
This November, Sandals is giving thanks with an all-inclusive vacation giveaway to Sandals Resorts. Watch DBL every day for a word of the day. Then enter at dailyblastlive.com/sandals for your chance to win a 4-day, 3-night escape for 2 to any Sandals resort of your choice. The winner will be announced on DBL November 22nd. Today's Sandals word of the day is tropical.
Welcome back. We've got some great products from our friends at Morning Save. Check them out. All right, what do you have for us today, Steph?
Hey, Jeff. Hey, DBL Nation. We are so excited to show you the deals today. They are fabulous. So first up, we've got the Colleen Lopez Asymmetric Zip Front Faux Fur Vest. This deal includes one vest available in 4 styles. There's black cranberry, natural leopard, and deep sea. We've got them available in sizes extra small to 2X. Normally, it is $72. We've got it for just $24.99. That's saving 65%. All right, so let's take a look at this, Jeff. This is the Sharper Image Spa Studio Digital Wi-Fi Bathroom Scale. So this doorbuster deal includes one scale that can monitor changing weight, BMI, body fat, and more. Now, this is going to be really popular, so you guys, I need to tell you, there's a limit of 3 per customer to make sure everyone can get their hands on this deal. Normally, this is $100, but we've got it for just $20, so that's saving 80%. Check out this. This is definitely up my alley. It is the True and Luscious Prep and Prime Duo Set. So this deal includes 1 eye primer and 1 lip or eye prep. Normally, this is $56. However, we've got it for just $15. That's saving you guys 73%. And then this is our last item today. This is Savvy C 1-carat Moissanite pendant necklace in 10-carat solid gold. So this deal includes one necklace. We've got it available in 2 color choices. We've got white gold and we've got yellow gold. Normally it's $375, but we've got it for $79.99. That's saving 79%, Jeff.
Head on over to morningsave.com to snag these amazing deals at the lowest prices, or you can even scan the QR code on the screen to take you directly to these products on Morning Save's website. Again, Steph, terrific job. We could talk about talking about movies from the 80s during the break, and I don't even know if we could talk about some of those movies.
I know. I've never seen Revenge of the Nerds, but it's a constant reference, and I feel left out. So
not by me. Wow. I don't know what we're talking about.
Canceled.
All right, we got to go. See you tomorrow. Talk about Jesus. Bye. Oh, we can't talk about him either.
No.